Commander Lyra stood on the bridge of the Zirac scout ship, Horizon's Echo. She peered into the vast darkness, through a thick viewport. The stars shimmered like distant jewels, but the space between them felt empty. Many moons ago, her people spoke of sky-born giants called humans. Those tales filled history books and campfire stories. But no one had seen a human ship in living memory. Most Ziracs believed the legends were just old myths. Lyra tapped the side of her console. Her boots made soft sounds on the metal deck. She listened to the low hum of the engines and the steady beeps of the navigation system. The corridor ahead was quiet. The Zirac's corridor lay at the edge of explored space. Beyond it, charts showed only black void. No planets, no mining stations, no living thing. Every cycle, Lyra scanned the corridor. She knew her job well. She watched for threats and rare discoveries. She loved her work, even late at night when the bridge dimmed and only red lights glowed. Tonight, she felt a strange pull in her chest. She remembered the old stories of humans. They spoke of tall figures who walked on two legs, with skin and hair like the sun and sky. They spoke of brave deeds, fierce battles, and bold quests. Those humans once built giant ships that sailed among the stars. Then they vanished. Lyra shook her head. She would not let old tales cloud her mind. She trusted her scanners and her crew. Legends mattered less than data. She reached for a fresh cup of hot spiced tea. The steam curled upward, and the sweet scent eased her thoughts. She glanced at the empty star chart on her screen. No contacts, no unusual blips, just the normal buzz of distant quasars and the soft hiss of cosmic dust. She sipped her tea and scanned the readings again. Everything looked normal. She set the cup down. Her fingers hovered over the controls. She moved them in a small dance, adjusting the sensitivity to detect any weak signals. The corridor lay still. After several minutes, she leaned back. The stories of humans would stay legends tonight. Then a faint ping cut through the silence. Her eyes snapped to the radar display. A tiny dot flashed in the outer ring of her screen. It was almost lost in the static. She leaned forward. Her heart beat faster. The dot appeared again, then vanished. She froze. No system should be here. She tapped the sensor icon quickly, sending a signal to the long-range scanners. The bridge lights shifted from red to amber. A quiet alarm chimed. Crew members stirred from their stations and looked to Lyra for orders. She took a deep breath and held her hand up to pause them. She would speak only when she knew the truth. Her jaw tightened. The dot blinked again, stronger this time. It moved closer, like a small fish swimming toward a net. Lyra pressed a button. The screen zoomed in. Lines of data scrolled along the side. Nothing in her database matched the signal's signature. She swallowed hard. The legends might not be legends after all. Her eyes flared with both fear and wonder as she prepared to face whatever lay beyond the dark. Commander Lyra sat rigid as the bridge lights shifted from amber back to red. The tiny dot on her radar pulsed again. She watched it blink in and out of view. Her breath came slow and steady. She would not let panic rule her. She tapped a panel and called out, "Report sensor data." Lieutenant Sola, the sensor officer, leaned forward. Her eyes narrowed at the screen. "Commander, I have never seen readings like this. The signal is sporadic. It appears and disappears. It moves closer in irregular steps." Lyra frowned. Could it be a glitch? Sola shook her head. "I've run calibration tests. All systems are green. This must be a real contact." The other crew members exchanged worried glances. A nervous hum filled the bridge. Navigator Dax cleared his throat. "Ma'am, should we prepare the interceptor drones?" Lyra looked at him and then at Sola. She weighed their words. If the dot was a real object, it might be a rogue ship or a stray probe. It could be dangerous, but she did not yet know its nature. She steadied her voice. "Hold weapons readiness. I want full scans first." Dax nodded and keyed the command. The ship's weapons array went to standby. Outside the viewport, nothing changed, only stars. Sola called out again. "Commander, I'm boosting scan range. I'm getting a hull signature. It is unlike any Zurax or nearby alien class. It's too smooth, too polished." Lyra's heart raced. Human ships were built of strong, sleek alloys. She murmured under her breath. The legends said humans prize both form and function in their vessels. Could this be a human design? She took one long sip of her spiced tea. Its warm taste steadied her nerves. Then she spoke into the intercom. "All stations, attention. We may have an unknown vessel approaching. I repeat, unknown vessel. Maintain alert, but no hostile action unless ordered." The crew acknowledged. A soft chorus of "Yes, Commander" echoed in the cabin. On the radar, the dot grew larger. It left a faint trail as it moved steadily inward. Sola's fingers flew over the console. "At this distance, I can try a direct active ping. It may reveal identification or power signature." Lyra hesitated. Active ping could alert the object and make it take evasive action. But she needed more information. "Do it," she decided. Sola initiated the ping. A bright arc of energy shot into the void. The bridge lights flickered as the ship's systems diverted power. Everyone leaned forward. A moment passed. Then the radar's blip flared bright. It held steady. Then a faint echo came back through the comm system. A pattern of pulses, almost like a greeting. Lyra's eyes widened. She pressed her hand to her mouth. "Someone is answering us." Sola studied the echo. "It is a structured signal, possibly language. I am decoding now." Dax whispered, "Could it really be a human message?" Lyra felt a mix of fear and hope. For centuries, the Zirax had only myths of humans. If this was truth, it would change everything. She straightened her uniform. "Prepare to open a channel," she ordered. "Let us hear their voice." The crew moved quickly. Antennas swiveled. Interfaces hummed. Lyra closed her eyes and held her breath as the channel opened. The bridge fell silent, waiting for the first words from whatever lay beyond the stars. Commander Lyra lowered her hand from the console. The comm channel was open, but only soft static answered her call. She frowned. Seeing and hearing the unknown ship would tell her more than words alone. She stood straight and spoke clearly. "Launch 2 interceptor drones. Keep them 20 kilometers behind the contact and on visual hold." Lieutenant Sola's fingers flew over her controls. She raised an eyebrow. "Commander, if we send drones too close, we risk provoking them. They may not welcome our approach." Navigator Dax leaned in. "We can keep weapons offline. Just observe. No hostile moves." Weapons Officer Reth turned from his station. "Ma'am, I recommend we arm the drones lightly, in case they turn aggressive." Lyra thought of the legends. Humans were said to respect honor. They fought only when they must, but she could not ignore danger. She settled on a careful plan. Drones will carry scanners only. No weapons activated. If they act friendly, we stay peaceful. If they show aggression, we retreat immediately. She tapped the launch sequence. Moments later, a soft hum filled the hangar as 2 sleek interceptor drones slid into the launch tubes. Bulkhead doors sealed behind them. The bridge view screen switched to a live feed from the first drone's camera. Tiny lights glowed on its hull as it drifted into open space, followed by the second drone. All eyes watched the distant dot on the view screen. It grew steadily larger as the drones moved in formation. Lyra took a deep breath, her heart steadying. She whispered to herself, "Come on, show us who you are." The first drone edged closer. Its scanners pinged the unknown ship's hull. On the screen, a smooth surface emerged. The metal was polished so clean that it mirrored the stars like a dark lake. No marks of damage. No alien script etched into it. Just a long, curved body that made Lyra's jaw tighten in wonder. Sola's voice crackled in the quiet. "Hull alloy is unfamiliar. Its reflectivity index is off the charts. It almost seems alive as it dances with starlight. Dax studied the image. It has no visible thrusters or weapons pods. How does it move? How does it power itself? The second drone inched closer, its lights tracing the ship's contours. From this angle, the hull's shape reminded Lyra of the old human legends. Tall and graceful lines, like the hull of a whale gliding through an ocean of stars. The myths said human ships had beauty and strength. Now she saw a hint of truth in those words. Reth shook his head in disbelief. No panels, no seams. It's like a single piece of living metal. Lyra felt a shiver of excitement. This was more than a test of arms. It was a discovery that could reshape her people's history. She steadied her voice for the crew. Maintain this distance. Feed all imagery and sensor data to my console. I want full analysis. The drones held their station, engines barely whispering. On the main screen, the strange ship drifted in silent grace. Lyra stood tall. She knew the next moments would decide everything. Diplomacy or defense, history or myth. She glanced at her crew, their faces lit by starlight and hope. Then she said, "Prepare to hail them visually. Switch to broad-spectrum lights. Let them see us in peace." The bridge lights dimmed as the ship's external array switched on soft blue and white beams. Commander Lyra watched from her station as the interceptor drone shone wide-spectrum lights toward the unknown vessel. The beams spread like gentle waves, bathing the polished hull in calm color. No warning flares, no hostile flashes, just an open invitation. Lieutenant Sola adjusted the feed. The lights are visible on their hull. It is responding. On the screen, a section of the ship's side began to glow faintly. A thin seam opened, sliding sideways like a great metal paddle. The crew held its breath. From the opening, a small shuttle emerged. It glided smoothly toward the first drone, wings folding inward. The human shuttle shone with the same sleek lines as the larger ship. No markings, only the word UNIT appeared in simple block letters near its nose. Navigator Dax whispered, "Unity, a hopeful name." The shuttle came to rest beside the drone. A ladder extended, and a single figure descended. Commander Lyra leaned forward as the human stepped onto the drone's careful hold. He wore a clean uniform of gray and white. His stance was calm but confident. He raised one hand in a gentle wave. Lyra took a breath and spoke into the open channel. "I am Commander Lyra of the Zirac scout ship Horizons Echo. Welcome." Her voice carried steady respect. The human officer inclined his head. His voice came clear through the speakers, with a melodic tone Lyra had not heard before. "Commander Lyra, I am Captain Marcus Hale of the human ship Pioneer. We come in peace and friendship." His accent rolled softly, like wind over dunes. A murmur rose among the crew. Marcus continued, "Our world once faced ruin. We refused to give up. We built new dreams among the stars. Now we seek allies. We hope the Ziracs share our wish for peace." Lyra felt her doubts loosen. She glanced at Sola. "Open a formal channel," she ordered. On the main view screen, the human captain's face appeared framed by his uniform collar. His eyes were calm, yet bright with hope. She returned to the channel. "Your presence surprises us, Captain Hale. Our legends speak of humans as ancient wanderers. I see now those legends were true." Her voice held warmth. Marcus smiled. "Legends carry truth across time. We are honored you still remember us." He paused. "May I come aboard your ship to speak face to face?" Lyra glanced at her officers, then nodded. "You are welcome. We will prepare an airlock." She tapped a console. "Shuttle bay, ready airlock for visitor." The crew moved swiftly, opening the inner doors. A hatch slid open with a soft hiss. Marcus stepped inside under the glow of Horizons Echo. He shook Lyra's hand in a gesture of trust. His grip was firm but friendly. Around them, the crew watched in silence. Lyra guided him to the viewport. "Look out into the stars," she said. "This galaxy is wider than any map can show." Marcus placed a hand on the glass. Together, we can explore it in peace. His words filled the bridge with promise. As the airlock sealed and the human officer turned to speak with the crew, Lyra realized history was unfolding before her eyes. Legends had come alive, and a new chapter for both species was beginning. Commander Lyra led Captain Marcus Hale down the wide corridor toward the ship's lounge. The walls glowed with soft white light. Behind them, the crew watched in quiet awe. No one had ever brought a human on board before. Marcus moved with calm steps. He carried nothing but a simple satchel at his side. Lyra noticed he wore no heavy armor or weapons, only a small sidearm at his hip, held more as a tool than a threat. He spoke softly. "Thank you for your welcome," he said. Lyra nodded. "We wish to learn from you." She paused at the door to the lounge and opened it. Inside, a long table stood ready, set with clean dishes and hot spiced tea, Zirak's tradition for honored guests. The air smelled of sweet herbs and fresh bread. Crew members gathered at small consoles along the walls. They whispered among themselves. Some pointed at Marcus. Others glanced at Lyra for her reaction. She smiled and gestured for Marcus to sit. He took the seat at the head of the table. Lyra sat across from him, then invited her senior officers to join. Lieutenant Sola, Navigator Dax, and Weapons Officer Reth each took a place. Lyra poured hot tea into Marcus's cup. Steam rose in gentle curls. Marcus closed his eyes for a moment as he inhaled the spicy scent. "Your tea is excellent," he said. "On Earth, we use similar spices to remind us of home." Sola leaned forward, curiosity bright in her eyes. "Your home world, Earth, what is it like now?" Marcus smiled kindly. "Earth recovered after a great war," he began. "People rebuilt cities and opened new trade routes. We learned to share resources so none would suffer." He paused, as if choosing his words. "It taught us the value of peace." Dax shifted in his chair. "Peace is rare in Zirak's history," he said quietly. "We have known almost only war." Marcus set down his cup. "War may shape us, but kindness guides us." He opened his satchel and pulled out a small metal cylinder. "This is a token of friendship from Earth." He handed it to Lyra. It felt warm in her hand. She studied the cylinder. Etched on its surface was a map of connected stars, Zirak's worlds, and human colonies alike. "It shows our alliance," Marcus said. "We hope to add your worlds to it." Lyra's heart warmed. She looked at her officers. Their eyes shone with hope. "Then we will speak of trade," she said. "Food, medicine, and knowledge. In return, you may learn our ship designs and our mining techniques." Marcus nodded eagerly. "We come to learn and to teach. Our strength is in sharing." He raised his cup. "To new friendship." Lyra lifted her cup to meet his. "To friendship." They drank together. Around them, the crew felt a shift in the ship's mood. Fear and doubt gave way to excitement and curiosity. In that moment, Commander Lyra realized that courtesy and open hands could be more powerful than any weapon. The human captain's gentle words and generous gift had opened a new door for the Ziraks and given them hope for a brighter future among the stars. Commander Lyra stood before the holo table in the conference room. Around her, senior officers and crew gathered in silence. On the table's surface, tiny lights formed a glowing map of the galaxy. Captain Marcus Hale joined Lyra at the table. He held a small device in his hand. Marcus pressed a button. A bright blue symbol appeared above the map. It pulsed gently. "This is your home system," he said. "And here are the human colonies." Tiny points of light spread across the map, connected by thin lines. Crew members leaned forward, studying the new pattern. Lieutenant Sola frowned in wonder. "You rebuilt so fast," she said. "Our records show human worlds ended in ruin." Marcus nodded. "We learned to share resources," he explained. "When one world had plenty, it gave to those in need. We worked together." Navigator Dax folded his arms. "Zirak's history is full of war," he said. We fought for ore and territory. Marcus's voice was calm. War made us strong, but sharing made us wise, he said. Peace is an active choice. Lyra watched the crew's faces shift. Doubt and curiosity mixed in their eyes. She spoke up. Show us how you share, she said. What tools help you? Marcus tapped his device again. The map vanished, and in its place appeared a simple, glowing symbol, 2 hands holding a circle. This is the Council of Unity, he said. We meet every cycle and decide on aid, trade, and new projects. Ref, the weapons officer, spoke quietly. Could a Zirax council work? He asked. Could we choose peace over conflict? Lyra's heart quickened. She saw possibility where none had been before. She turned to Marcus. Teach us your ways, she said. Show us your counsel in action. Marcus smiled. He brought up a small holo-projector on the table. It played scenes of human delegates speaking in soft voices, passing data crystals, and voting with glowing tokens. Each delegate has 1 vote, he said, no matter the world's size or strength. Sola's eyes filled with hope. Fair voices for every world, she murmured. Even the smallest colony counts. Marcus's device switched to another scene. A human medic in a field clinic treating wounded settlers. He used a simple tool that healed wounds quickly. Our medkits cost little, he said. They save lives fast. Dax traced the image with his finger. We have med drones, he said, but they need power and parts. Your kits work anywhere. Marcus nodded. They run on solar cells and basic compounds. Anyone can make them. Lyra felt her crew's hearts change. Where once they saw only tools of war, now they saw bridges of peace. The conference room felt warmer. The holo-table lights glowed softly on every face. When the demonstration ended, Lyra turned to her officers. We will adopt the Council of Unity model, she said. We will test your medkit designs on our next mission. The officers nodded, voices low but eager. In that moment, Commander Lyra realized her people's beliefs were shifting. The legends of human compassion were no longer stories. They were living lessons, opening new paths for the Zirax. Commander Lyra still felt the warmth of hope from the Council of Unity demonstration when the comm console crackled to life. An urgent message scrolled across the display. It came from High Command on Zirax Prime. Lyra's heart tightened as she read the words. Unknown vessel detected. Directive. Destroy without delay. She swallowed hard. The order was clear. The old Zirax code forbade mercy to any unregistered ship, yet the stranger before them was no threat. He had come in peace, shared gifts, and offered friendship. She glanced at Captain Marcus Hale, standing calmly by her side. His steady gaze met hers. He trusted her to do what was right. Lyra turned to Lieutenant Sola. What is our status? She asked. Sola tapped her console. All systems are ready. Weapons are on standby. The human ship remains in orbit, unarmed. Navigator Dax stepped forward. If we fire, we will shatter any chance of peace. Yet if we hesitate, we defy High Command. His voice trembled with worry. Weapons Officer Reth clenched his jaw. Our loyalty is to Zirax Prime. We cannot ignore direct orders. But I fear the cost. A hush fell over the bridge. Crew members looked to Lyra for guidance. Time seemed to slow as she weighed her choices. The memories of human kindness stood in bright contrast to the threat of immediate violence. Lyra drew in a steady breath. She thought of the legends, humans as fearless adventurers, human ships blazing trails across the galaxy. She thought of Captain Hale's words. Peace is an active choice. Her hand hovered over the command panel. Then she spoke with firm calm. Send a reply to High Command, she ordered. Her voice echoed in the room. State that the ship is friendly. Request permission to establish diplomatic relations before any action. Sola's fingers flew. Message sent, Commander. Lyra watched the transmission indicator blink. Moments later, a reply arrived. High Command refused to authorize talks. Directive stands. Destroy unknown vessel. A collective gasp rose from the crew. Lyra felt her pulse pound. She looked at her officers. "We will not fire," she declared. "Stand down weapons. Maintain defensive posture only." Dax's eyes widened. "Commander, this is mutiny." She nodded. "It is leadership. I will answer for this decision." Reth hesitated, then powered down his weapons console. Sola released a breath she did not know she held. The ship fell silent, save for the hum of engines. Lyra keyed the open channel. Captain Hale's image appeared on the main screen. His expression was curious but calm. "Commander Lyra, is everything all right?" She held his gaze with determination. "Our leaders wish to destroy your ship," she said. "But I refuse to obey. I choose peace." Marcus's eyes flicked with surprise. Then he smiled gently. "Thank you, Commander. We will stand with you." In that moment, Commander Lyra felt the weight of history shift on her shoulders. She had defied old laws to protect a friend. The galaxy watched, and a new legend was born, one of courage, choice, and the power of peace. Commander Lyra stood firm on the bridge as Horizon's Echo turned its shields outward. The ship hummed with tension. Behind her, the crew readied for possible combat. Yet no aggressive move came from the human ship Pioneer. Instead, it held position, its hull calm under distant starlight. Lieutenant Sola monitored enemy radar. "I see the Warlord's fleet, 5 battle cruisers, approaching fast. They mean to enforce the destroy order." Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed concern. Navigator Dax spoke quietly. "Their weapons range covers our entire system. If they fire, we must respond or face destruction." He glanced at Lyra. "What now, Commander?" Lyra inhaled deeply. She remembered Marcus Hale's promise. "We will stand with you." She looked at the main view screen, where Pioneer's commander stood ready beside his ship. She nodded to her crew. "We defend the Pioneer. All stations, set defensive patterns. Do not fire unless they attack us first." Weapons Officer Reth tapped the targeting controls. Shields at full. Drone interceptors on standby around Pioneer. He keyed the command. Outside, 2 drones moved into protective orbit. Their lights flared softly. The bridge fell silent as the enemy cruisers came into view. Massive ships, dark and angular, filled the viewport. Their forward batteries glowed red. Lyra's chest tightened, but she raised her chin. She thought of her choice and the better future it promised. Suddenly, the lead battlecruiser hailed her. A harsh voice flooded the channel. "Commander Lyra of Horizon's Echo, you are under orders to destroy the trespasser. Raise your weapons or be branded enemy of Zirax Prime." Lyra pressed the intercom button. "I refuse that order. Horizon's Echo protects Pioneer. If you fire, we will defend ourselves." Her voice was calm but firm. A tense pause followed. Then the Warlord's captain sneered. "So be it. Open fire." Bright beams of energy leaped from the cruisers toward the human ship. Marcus Hale called out over the channel, "Commander, we're ready." He tapped controls on the Pioneer's deck. On Horizon's Echo, the crew braced. The first blast struck Pioneer's shields, rippling across its hull. The drones darted forward, drawing enemy fire away from the human vessel. Each shot that missed the Pioneer hit the drones or was absorbed by their small shields. Lyra held her breath. At her command, Reth opened fire on the battlecruiser's weapon arrays. The echoing blasts from Horizon's Echo's cannons struck true, disabling one turret. Sparks flew across the enemy ship's hull. The battle roared around them. Pioneer turned its own defensive beams to protect both ships. Sola reported, "The Warlord's fleet is faltering. Their shields are down by 20%. Dax tracked an incoming torpedo. Incoming. He hit a button. The ship's point defense lasers sliced the torpedo into fragments before it reached Pioneer. Slowly, the tides turned. Horizon's Echo and Pioneer fought side by side. The Warlord's fleet began to retreat, damaged and surprised by the combined force. Lyra watched as the last cruiser limped away into the dark. When the bridge lights returned to normal, a cheer rose from the crew. They had risked everything and won. Lyra turned to Marcus's image on the view screen. He saluted her with a proud smile. She returned the salute. We did it together. Her heart swelled with pride. Around her, the crew felt hope and unity, stronger than any weapon. In saving a legend, they had become part of a new story, one of courage, loyalty, and friendship among the stars. Commander Lyra walked onto the observation deck. The viewport stretched from floor to ceiling, showing the dark sky dotted with stars. Beside her, Captain Marcus Hale leaned against the rail of Pioneer's attached shuttle, now docked to Horizon's Echo for repairs. The battle was over. Broken fragments of the warlord's cruisers lay drifting far away, silent reminders of the fight. Lyra felt a mix of relief and sadness. So many ships, so many lives, lost over fear of the unknown. She glanced at Marcus. He studied the wreckage. "I'm sorry you had to face that," he said. His voice was soft, filled with genuine regret. Lyra shook her head. "I made my choice. I could not let fear guide us." She looked back at the broken hulls. "Yet I wish there was another way." Marcus placed a hand on her arm. "Sometimes courage demands sacrifice. You showed them a better path." His eyes shone with respect. They stood quietly, watching the floating debris. Then Lyra spoke. "What happens now? Will your people know what we did?" He nodded. "I will report our success and your bravery. It will start conversations on many worlds." He paused. "But first, we must repair my ship. And yours." Lyra smiled. "Our engineers are already at work." She gestured toward the corridor. "Shall we?" They walked through the docking tunnel together. The hum of repair drones filled the air. Technicians worked on Pioneer's hull, welding new panels over battle scars. On Horizon's Echo, engineers tested shields and weapon systems. Lieutenant Sola approached, carrying a data pad. "Commander, I have initial reports," she said. "Our crew morale is higher than ever. They believe in peace now." She handed Lyra the pad. Lyra read the summary. Crews shared meals, stories, and new ideas. Training exercises would soon include joint drills with human officers. She looked up pleased. "Thank you, Sola. This is good news." Sola smiled and nodded. Ahead, Marcus waited. "Commander," he said, "the senior officers of Pioneer invite you and your key crew to a celebration dinner in the lounge." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "A celebration?" Marcus grinned. "Yes, to honor our new alliance and remember those who fell." Lyra looked around at the busy corridor. She saw engineers pausing to smile at Marcus as he passed. She felt warmth in her chest. "I accept," she said. That evening, the lounge glowed with lantern light. Tables were set with Ziracs and human dishes, steamed vegetables, seasoned meats, fresh bread, and Earth-style pastries. Crews from both ships mingled. Lyra sat beside Marcus at the head table. She raised her glass of spiced tea. "To a new era," she said. Her voice rang clearly across the room. "May we always choose unity over fear." Glasses clinked. Cheers rose around her. Marcus raised his cup too. "To unity," he replied. As voices and laughter filled the lounge, Lyra thought of the future. The galaxy was wide and full of unknowns, but now she knew one thing for certain. Fear could be beaten by hope, and legends could become reality when humans and Zirac stood together. In that moment, she felt the promise of tomorrow shining brighter than any star. Commander Lyra stood on the bridge the next morning as Horizon's Echo drifted beside the repaired Pioneer. Soft sunlight from a nearby star filtered through the viewport, painting the decks in warm gold. The battle scars were gone, replaced by fresh panels and new markings of unity. Captain Marcus Hale joined her at the command console. He smiled as he watched engineers attach joint Zirax human insignias to both ships. "Your crew did a fine job," he said. Lyra nodded. "They believe in this alliance now. They want to explore together." She tapped a control, and the nav map appeared, dotted with potential worlds to visit. Where shall we go first? Marcus studied the map. I have one proposal, he said, pointing at a pale blue planet near the edge of known space. This world has lost contact with the human colony there. We worry they may need help. Sola, standing behind them, leaned in. We detected faint distress signals from that system before our encounter here. It may be related. Her eyes glowed with determination. Lyra pressed a series of commands. Set course for the Kirin system, she ordered. Speed at maximum safe warp. The engines hummed as they responded. Horizons Echo and Pioneer fell into formation, side by side. As the ships accelerated, Lyra felt a surge of excitement. This was no longer a lone mission of discovery. It was the start of a joint journey to bring hope to others. She looked at Marcus. Together, we will be stronger. He placed a hand on the console. And wiser, he added. We learn from each other. Below decks, crew members from both species prepared for the journey. Humans taught the Zirax how to calibrate their scanners for medical signals. Zirax engineers showed humans the art of forging repair alloys. Laughter and friendly chatter filled the corridors. In the lounge, Dax and a human navigator compared star charts over a pot of spiced tea. Reth and a human gunnery officer discussed defensive patterns, though now more as shared best practices than for war. Unity blossomed in every corner of the ships. Commander Lyra returned to the bridge. She gazed at the stars streaking by. Each point of light held a chance for friendship or aid. She recalled how legends of humans once seemed distant and unreal. Now those legends were living beings beside her. The comm console chimed. It was a simple message from Zirax Prime. Acknowledged alliance. Support forthcoming. Lyra allowed herself a small smile. Their rebellion had sparked a change across an empire. Marcus joined her again. I look forward to our next adventure, he said. She nodded. As do I. She placed her hand over his for a moment before stepping back to take her place at the helm. The two ships sailed into the unknown together, a symbol of peace in a vast galaxy. Commander Lyra watched the horizon of stars, feeling hope bloom in her heart. Legends had awakened, and now, side by side, humans and Zirax would write a new story. One of friendship, courage, and the shared dream of unity among the stars.